We are in the Lake Pueblo State Park, and this is the Pueblo Reservoir Trail. In gray is COTREX overlaid on the OpenStreetMap tiles. And again, I'll highlight that trail in question so it's readily apparent. Now you can see there's a discrepancy here, and that is about 95 feet. Let's take a look at the Strava heat map, and you can see that all the Strava users are traveling along the trail as depicted by OpenStreetMap, and no Strava user within the last 2 years anyway is traveling on this section of the trail depicted by COTREX. This is the Esri World Imagery Clarity Beta, and you can clearly see through the canopy here that the trail does follow the location as depicted by OpenStreetMap. This is Lake Pueblo State Park, and this is another section of the Pueblo Reservoir Trail. In gray is COTREX. I'll highlight the particular trail in red. So the issue here, as you can see, there's actually two trails in OpenStreetMap. I believe, and I'll show you some evidence, that this trail over here is the official trail. This was at one time, and it is still physically there, but it's not the main trail. First, the Strava heat map. You can see far more people, far more Strava users are traveling on this trail versus this one here. This is Bing aerial imagery, and you can see that whereas this appears to be unpaved, I'll zoom in there a bit, see the kind of rough edges there, whereas this is light colored and has a very sharp edge, indicating that it's probably concrete. And if we actually select the COTREX, it says surface concrete. I'd say this is definitely not concrete over here where it's depicted. If we go to some older imagery, this is from Esri. They don't give a date, but obviously it's very different. That concrete path is missing. I'll go back to Bing and see that was captured sometime August, September 2018. So it's been a while. This isn't like it just happened last year. We are in Pueblo State Park, and this is another section of the Pueblo Reservoir Trail. COTREX is in gray. I'll highlight the particular trail in red to make it a little more obvious. It's overlaid on OpenStreetMap tiles, and you can see that there is a discrepancy. That discrepancy is about 65 feet. I'll turn on the Strava heat map, and you can see that the majority of people, almost everyone, is traveling on the trail depicted by OpenStreetMap and not so much the one depicted by COTREX. Turn on some imagery, and it's quite clear this is from Bing. Quite obvious where the trail is. It does not swing up here to the northeast as depicted by COTREX. Incidentally, that imagery collected sometime August, September 2018. So that's been there a while in that configuration. We are in Lake Pueblo State Park, and this is the Valco Ponds Fishing and Arkansas River Access Trail. Ooh, that's a mouthful. As usual, we have COTREX in gray, overlaid on the OpenStreetMap tiles. I'm going to highlight that particular trail in red so it's a little more obvious. So the first issue here is that we got the trail going right in the middle of the Arkansas River. And while that's not impossible, I mean, maybe the river is mislocated in OpenStreetMap, or maybe that's just a seasonal flood stage. Maybe there's a bridge there. It certainly is suspicious. Let's turn on the Bing imagery. And that looks a little bit more reasonable. It seems to be a sandbar there. It might come and go. Here's the COTREX web map. You can see that even it shows the river, the trail going through the river. So, one check that could be done on all of this trail data, that it shouldn't enter a body of water unless it crosses a flow line. So, obviously we're going to have trails crossing rivers and streams, but those will be lines as well as areas in the National Hydrography data set. So this would probably be flagged. And so if the trail was accurately depicted here, then maybe the water body, the Arkansas River, should be adjusted. However, let's take a look at the Strava Heatmap. And you can see that we've got a lot of users, a lot of Strava users traveling on the location depicted by OpenStreetMap, and nobody traveling on the location depicted by COTREX. This heat here, likely kayakers, canoers, and not trail users, since they continue to go down the river. I'm going to put on some other imagery now. This is from Esri World Imagery Clarity Beta. So you can see the trail here, and that follows the location where OpenStreetMap depicts the trail. And incidentally, in this source of imagery, you still have the COTREX trail going into the water. So not a likely scenario. And that distance between COTREX and OpenStreetMap, about 480 feet. So certainly not inconsequential.